Hi.
And welcome to the Serenity Podcast.
The premiere episode.
The pilot.
No, we already had a pilot. Hopefully this is not pilot take 2. Hopefully this is the premiere episode.
We don't have to talk about the pilot. The first rule about the pilot is you don't talk about the pilot.
Okay, well then this is the pilot.
My name is Beth, and on Instagram and Ravelry, I am Witty Knittin'.
And I'm Tracy. On Ravelry, I'm Phoenix Fire, and on Instagram, I'm PhoenixFire_knits. And we decided to do a podcast.
Yep, we're podcasters now. It's a thing.
You've often been a podcaster, though.
Yeah. I'm as experienced in not podcasting as I am in podcasting. And I don't think either. So I started a podcast by myself. I think we figured out it was 10 years ago.
It was really good.
Tracy was the only person who watched it.
we didn't know each other. I found her podcast. I think I was in grad school. I was like, oh, cool, a podcast. I'll watch this.
So there were 5 episodes. So Tracy and nobody else ever watched that. So that was, anyway. And then I did one for a couple years with my sister that was called Foxes and Socks. And I had a baby and we just stopped.
It was a good podcast.
I'm pretty sure we were in mid-knit along and just faded away.
Yes, we were in mid-knit along when you faded away.
Real thing. So if you've seen me before and you don't trust me, I understand and I'm sorry. Yeah. But Tracy's a really great knitter and spinner, so.
Thank you.
So.
Try.
So I don't know.
We'll keep it going.
Tracy
keep it going.
Me.
So, do you want to talk about why we decided to start this one?
Sure. So, I asked Tracy and she said yes, which was a huge shock. I was 110% prepared for, no, Beth, I'm never doing that. You know that. I
was a little surprised at myself, to be quite honest.
Or your exact response was, that could be fun. And I'm like, okay, that's not a yes, but that's not a no.
Yeah, I think a year ago it really would have been a very hard no. But as I mentioned in the pilot that none of you have seen, neither of our viewers have seen our pilot, so much has changed in the past year. I feel comfortable with Zoom now. I feel comfortable seeing my face on a screen. I'm a little bit more than I did before anyway. And I just feel so isolated because my knit group can't meet. And I don't get to go to Fiberfest, which is where I buy all of my yarn. The one event where I see Beth every year got canceled because everything was canceled. So it's just the idea of having someone to talk to about my knitting once a week or once every 2 weeks. Just, yeah, it felt good. I like this idea.
Mm-hmm. So
even if this is it, even if we only try to podcast and never get anything uploaded, at least we had fun talking to each other.
That's true. I mean, worst case scenario is still, that's pretty awesome.
Exactly.
For me, I have 3 kids and they are 4.5, 2.5, and 3 months. And I feel like I just need something that's just for me, which my knitting already is. I don't know, this makes it more concentrated. You know what I'm saying?
What you're saying. Yeah, we've been there. So Beth and I didn't stalk her until she became my friend, just in case you got the wrong idea from the beginning of the podcast. But we met at ZK's. I'm in North Carolina and she's in Minnesota. And the first ZK, I decided to go by myself. I didn't know anybody there. I'd never been to Minnesota before. I didn't know anything about it. But I was excited to go to a new fiber event and I was hoping I'd meet some new people. And the second day, the first full day of the event, I walked into the ballroom. There's so many tables and I didn't know where to sit. And I was looking for somebody familiar and I saw Beth. I was like, I recognize her. She had a podcast. She was nice. So I sat down and that's how I met Beth and her sister and our friend Brenda. and lots of other people. And we, the four of us anyway, have been a really tight group ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to going back to ZK every year to see each other. And I really missed you guys last year.
Mm-hmm. We took 1 year off, and that was, we all were like, why?
Let's not do that again.
I had a baby. That was baby number 2, and I was like, well, I can't go kind of no matter what. It just wasn't going to happen. And then we were just like, And ZK, for those who don't know, is the Zombie Knit Apocalypse. It's a knitting retreat that the Stockinette Zombies put on in Rochester, Minnesota, which for me is only like 3.5, 4 hours away. So yeah, and I don't have a knit. I don't have a knit group. I don't have a yarn store. I watch knitting podcasts, and I spend a lot of time on Instagram and spend a lot of time knitting. And yeah.
I always feel like I spend a lot of time on Instagram, and whenever I get to a post, you've been there first. You've almost always liked it before me. That's like this.
I feel the same way. So that can't be.
I always feel good when I get to a post like, I saw this first, and I double click it. It's like I'm leaving a message for you. I got here.
I should be looking at Instagram, right? Is there anything else we need to say before we start showing off the knitting?
Let's show off the knitting. Oh, we can show off what we're wearing.
Yeah, let's do that, because then I need to take the sweater off because it's actually really hot here.
Okay, that's really funny. Okay, guys. Last week, we accidentally wore coordinating outfits. And we were so excited by this trick of fate that we decided to wear the same outfits today. But last time we recorded, it was 54 degrees in North Carolina, and now it's like 79. So I'm a little sweltery too, even in shorts. I can't take mine off. You can go first.
Okay. So mine is, I just recently finished this. It is the Comfort Fade Cardi by Andrea Mowry. I made it using Stress Knits yarn in 4 colors. So you can see they fade. And the colors are Siren. I want to say this was like sea vegetable or something. I've only seen it maybe 1 or 2 times in our shop. And then Eliza and Lipstick and Shawls. And I love it. It's very warm and it's very long. And
amazing
to say, other than I think I'm gonna wear it a lot. I feel like I'm not sure what to wear under it. It's kind of like pretty bold.
Well, the yellow shirt last week looked really good.
And that's what, I haven't done laundry since then. Otherwise I would be wearing that yellow shirt. Dang it!
And it looks fine with black as well.
Now I'm gonna choose it.
So I am wearing my 3rd Soldotna because I'm obsessed with making this pattern. I don't wear them very often, but I'm going to try to rectify that this year because I really do like the overalls and crop top look. I think it's really cute. And I've been wearing overalls almost every day since March. I have 3 pair, 2 long pair, 1 short pair, and I've started calling them my quarantine jeans because I wear them so much in quarantine. So I think this might be my fall look until I'm back at school. We're both teachers too. We didn't mention that. So yeah, she's on maternity leave right now, and we are 100% remote right now. So we also had a little bit more time in our schedule that we could try our podcast out.
Yeah, for now. So I go back in less than a month.
I go back in December, but that's okay. That's plenty of time. So my Soldotna is, all right, so since the pandemic started, I have been knitting almost entirely from my stash and scraps. I'm very proud of this fact because I told my husband years ago that my stash is an emergency fund so that when I really, really need yarn for something, I'll have it. And I have actually stuck to that now that I actually do need an emergency stash of yarn.
Time has come.
The time has come. I've got a few things at the ZK market, but not very much. So this is at the top. It's very old Sanguine Griffin Bugga. Bugga is old. And then the yellow and the white are left over from my first Soldotna. They were all Suburban Stitcher. So it's Curry and La Boheme. Does that sound right? Yeah. All right. So I don't buy yarn for projects. I buy things I like and then find things to go together for projects. The one project that I bought all yarn for at one time was my first Soldotna, and it's because Beth was with me, and she's like, "Oh, try it, and so, yeah, I got totally enabled into that, and it was awesome.
It's so funny. I didn't know you would never like
I've
for a project before.
very rarely. I'll pick out one color for one color sweater and buy in bulk, but I very rarely say, I'm gonna make a shawl. Let's buy all of these yarns. I just open up the stash cabinet, and if you buy what you like, it's probably gonna go together. Because I have, as you can see, I have a color scheme, and these are things I like, and they happen to go together. And our main color here is actually 2 fingering weight skeins held double. So it's a Teeny Button Studio and mint macaron, which is white and mint green, my favorite mint green color, with flecks of bright blue and pink. And I knew I was going to look this up today. That was on my to-do list. I never did it. The other was a skein I got from Tash of the Sticky Stitch, and it's an Australian yarn. It's one I've never heard of before. I've never seen before. I remember it was Jane Austen themed. It was Persuasion themed, and it was mostly light blue and white and green. And it looked so good. The speckles looked so good together. I didn't even do the dots on the Soldotna. So it's just
Which I
all
would never
speckles.
notice without you saying that.
Well, also it's covered up with a bib, but you get the idea. The idea. It's all speckly.
The one I knit is almost identical. Well, okay, the gold and the white are identical because your first one was like these really pretty like purples.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like mauve-y kind of purples.
Yeah, the main color though was a really dark purple.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And mine was the gold and white that you have, and with like, but I never have worn it ever.
Well, you need to.
I do. Well, no. I'm not going to. I'm going to. I told this last time. We need to quit referencing last time.
It's true, but it's funny.
Just act like it was the first time.
On the very exclusive pilot that you don't have access to. We recorded on a Google Hangout and didn't realize that with Google Hangout it was always in speaker view, and so our heads became really huge in your face, and we're not good with that. We're not cool with that.
No, it was very awkward, and you couldn't see both of us at the same time. Anyway, so I am going to take my Soldotna apart, and I'm going to knit it full length, I think, and then lengthen the sleeves as much as I can. Maybe just 3/4 length. I don't know. I also might just one more time put it on with the outfit I thought I was going to wear and just see. Maybe I'll do that on the next podcast.
Okay. Oh, I'll wear my first one then too, and then we can be Soldotna buddies. It'd be funny if I wore this one again, because then we really would be Soldotna buddies. But my first one was purple. But I got a gray dress to wear it with, and I think it looked pretty cute, though the crop look is not my usual go-to look. But the first one I made to pattern, and so it has the neck that's really high and kind of tight. So I don't wear it that often, even though I like the colors and I like the sweater. I don't wear it very much. But so the second and third one, I used Nora George's modifications for a rolled neck, and this has been much more wearable for me. I don't like things up around my neck.
You could you undo the other one and
possibly. I don't wear it enough for it to bother me that much, but I'm going to try it. I'll try it next time, and we'll see how. If I keep doing this the whole podcast, we'll know that I have to undo the neck.
That's a fair point.
Yep. What are you knitting, Beth?
I am. Well, I just picked this up because it was the simplest thing. I actually haven't worked on it for a little while, but I'm working on a throwover sweater. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. I love it so much.
It looks so cute next to my sweater.
It's like we have like a color theme going on here or something.
One might say.
So this is me. I'm using, oh my gosh, the words are hard. Okay. I'm knitting this with Malabrigo Rios for the main color. It's Bobby Blue. And then I'm using 3 colors of Spin Cycle for the color work, and that's the yarn that's called for. So this is Salty Dog, Deep Bump, and I think it's called Autumn Rainbow, but that might not be true. but it's something that would mean the same thing as that. And it just uses like the tiniest bit of spin cycle. It allows you to use your spin cycle for other projects too, I guess, is a way to look at it, because it's kind of a big investment to buy 3 colors of spin cycle, for me anyway. So I knit the body. I am working on a sleeve. And yeah, that is all I have to say about that.
Okay. So what I am working on right now is a Halloween sock. Funny story. I was cleaning out under my bed, like you do during a pandemic, and I had some old knitting bags under there, and I keep my seasonal bags put away. I have my Christmas bags under there, my fall bags, and I wanted my Halloween bags. This is my favorite Halloween bag. I have 3. But I found a skein of yarn, a whole entire skein. It's no longer something I would pick out for myself at the store. Yeah. It's called Haunted Hayride, is the colorway. The dyer is DK Knits, and she's no longer in the yarn business. It's probably from 2009, 10. It's pretty old. I guess I stuck it with the Halloween stuff because it was a Halloween color. I have no idea how long it's been in the bed, but it seems to still be in good shape. I haven't found any damage. So I'm just working on a plain vanilla sock. Sucre Ghost.
I love how themed it all is.
Yeah, because he matches my other ghosts, and I love them. And I'm gonna do a Fish Lips Kiss Heel. I think I told the designer Patty Joy she was on our team for ZK this year, and I think I told her about my 75th pair of Fish Lips Kiss socks. So I'm not sure what number this is, but it's pretty far up there.
You have tiny feet.
This is going to be for my husband. These are my big feet socks.
Oh, okay. So you don't even have that.
But I do have a pair of tiny feet socks.
I have a baby.
What's that we hear?
Oh, I don't know if he's awake or not.
Oh.
Seems to be a during sleep battle cry.
Uh-huh.
I'll just see what happens.
While we're seeing if the nap is going to stick any longer, what else are you working on?
Okay. So I started, so I'm very new to spinning, and I hadn't knit with any of my Handspun yet. So the other day I just really wanted to knit with my Handspun and just see what that, and the whole time I'm like, I made this yarn. I did that. It didn't turn out at all the way I thought it would. It is not turning into the project I planned it to be, but I made this yarn. So I cast on a bandana cowl by Purl. And this is not my very first, but third maybe yarn that I spun. It was supposed to be DK weight, and I was supposed to have enough to be the contrast color in a sweater. Like, get real. Just learn how to spin before you start deciding you're going to knit sweaters with your Handspun. So I have 3 skeins of this, which is good because I'm going to run out because I have this much left. And I tried, I guess I succeeded at fractal spinning. I did.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 ply. So this fiber was a gradient from like gold to this darker blue. And so 1 ply was split into 2. So I did gold to blue. And then the other ply was 4 of that.
Sounds about right. But this is a very long text conversation we had back in the day. She said, what should I get to spin fractally? I was like, I prefer something with small color chunks. She said, oh, well, that's not what I bought.
Yeah. So I ordered several gradients. And then I said, hey, Tracy, what should I buy?
Like, not a gradient.
Oops. I was excited, but it worked out.
We made it work. We made it work. It's gorgeous. That looks a lot better than my first Handspun.
I'm excited about it. And it's like, I don't know. It's so cool to, and you're such a great spinner that I'm sure you're like,
Yeah.
it doesn't phase you to knit your handspun anymore.
I try to knit my handspun more often.
I'm like, I made this magical string and now I'm knitting with it. And it's awesome.
It is awesome.
And it's bulky yarn because that's
enjoy it.
New spinners.
You won't be able to do that soon.
I have a hard time believing that, but that's what everybody says.
True. It's true.
And this is
So for me with handspun, sometimes this handspun is the project. So when I'm finished spinning, I'm finished. I mean, I don't have to make it into something. I don't often knit with it. But this year I've told myself I'm going to knit more with my handspun. I have been knitting all from stash. So I knit several handspun projects, and then this is the last time I will reference the pilot because this is just too funny. So I was telling her last week that I had cast on 2 at a time socks, magic glue. That used to be my go-to method. I never do that anymore. And it was so annoying. I cast them on and put them in a bag and never worked on them. And then I changed them over to 2 circs. I was getting a little bit more out of it, getting a couple rows done every day. Now they're 2 separate socks. But they have heels. So I got one still on the 2 circs. This is my handspun. It's
so pretty.
DK weight, Sporter DK weight. It's from Three Waters Farm, which is kind of local to me. It's in Chapel Hill, which is about 40 minutes from where I live. So I was trying to use it the last of a skein. This was one of the colors, one of the contrast colors in my Shifty. And I was going to use all of it up. So that's why I was knitting 2 at a time, so I could use up all of it. It's like, to heck with that. So I just split the ball evenly by weight. But handspun, they're not the same size. So yeah, so now I'm concerned about, this yarn's thicker obviously than this yarn. So hopefully they'll be about the same size. I'm gonna knit a row, measure, have them. It's fine. It's just socks. They won't be that tall. It's fine.
Are they for you?
They're for me. Yeah. They're so cute.
They are super cute. I love those colors.
And my shop knitting Nelly bag that I wasn't able to purchase by Miss Woody Knittin'.
I have mine too.
We didn't even pick out the same bag. It's not like we both looked at this bag and said, I have to have it. This was just a mystery pre-order that we both mystery pre-ordered.
I didn't even know you had one until we were doing this. And this is a recent one that I also purchased. Oh my gosh.
My only one, but only because my bag budget is very small, or I would totally blow the budget on knitting Nelly.
I don't have a shop knitting Nelly is my bag budget. So if she has an update, I have a bag budget, and when she is not having an update, I do not have a bag budget.
That works.
Actually, since we're talking about her stuff, I should show this. This is what I want to show. I have stuff everywhere. Morgan, who is the maker of the beautiful Shop Knitting Nelly bags, has started designing some socks. And so I did this test knit for her, which I have washed and blocked. These are the calico socks. And I really like them. They have the cute little color work. I used Stress Knits yarn this is the Succulents colorway. This is Sunflower. I always want to call it honey. It's not called honey, it's called Sunflower.
It looks like honey.
And then the gold and the flowers is Golden Hour, and the green is Mountain Mama.
Beautiful. Great work.
Thank you.
I'll show off my color work. I started a color project I told you I was going to, because I have to have one on the needles all the time. So it's in my Absolute Wonder bag, which I love. She's no longer making bags.
Coordinated.
But we go way back with Ginger from Absolute Wonder. All right, this is, if you're not a true crime fan, you might not get my hat. It says, "Stay out of the forest." And on the back is hashtag SSDGM. So if you're a My Favorite Murder fan, you know what this is, and if not, you think this is insane. But I am a huge fan of the podcast, My Favorite Murder, and they will say random things, and then suddenly it becomes a slogan, and people start getting it tattooed on their bodies, or they start selling merch that has a slogan on it. And at one point, they were talking about how nothing good happens in the forest. Everyone gets murdered in the forest. Just stay out of the forest. And it caught on as a slogan, stay out of the forest.
I love that.
Yeah, and I definitely have to wear it in the forest. I live in the forest. Yeah, I can't stay out of the forest, but it's funny, and I love it. And one of the hosts, Georgia, has a Siamese cat named Elvis, so I used a Siamese. So yeah, that's all with the theme.
Gosh,
Cute.
your coordinated project game.
I know.
So
I just put a random one on there. And it's like, wait, but I have a cat. That will be so cute.
You're so funny. I do not listen to or watch any true crime podcasts, but I've watched enough knitting podcasts to know what all of that means. So apparently the knitting and true crime worlds are...
Yes. Oh, I'm obsessed. And my daughter gets so mad at me because she's like, why do you upset yourself listening about murder all the time? I'm like, it's like a how-to, like how to not get murdered. The more you watch, the more cold case files you watch, the more true crime podcasts you listen to, the more you know how to keep yourself safe. So stay out of the forest. Don't join a cult. Yeah, but these are rules for living.
Dad, is that from that too?
What is it?
The Call Your Dad one?
Yeah, there was an episode where they're talking about this girl who got into a cult and terrible things were happening or something bad. And they're like, if you see these warning signs, you're in a cult. Call your dad to come get you. And it became a slogan.
Oh, I didn't know that one was from there.
Yeah.
Do you have more things? I have more things.
Yes, I have one more.
Okay. I have a lot. I have a lot of things. Ooh. In a month, it won't be this way. I'll be like, here are the 2 rows of this sock or the 2 rounds of this sock that I knit.
It's fine. What else do you have? Just keep knitting.
Okay, what's in here? So in here, in my shop knitting bag, I have my Mountain Mama socks, which are, ooh, I looked this up, I did my homework. They are by Bloom and Create, and on Instagram she is bloom.create. So she is a relatively new designer, I think. And she's young. I used to be a young knitter, and I found out now I'm like not. I'm like right in the middle, I feel like, moving on up. And this is my second one.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you since you said that. To tell people a story about the time when I said something about being old, and I also mentioned it's better than the alternative, and you said, staying young forever? Like, yes, Peter Pan, staying young forever.
I remember that conversation. That
Probably
sounds like
been drinking.
something I would say.
You've probably been drinking a lot.
I was probably pregnant. I'm so dumb when I'm pregnant.
If she was pregnant, she was not drinking a lot. But
I only drink a little when I'm pregnant.
when she's not pregnant, there's not always water in our water bottles at CK. Oh, everybody knows.
Everybody knows. It's okay. I already love this podcast. I hope there's at least one other person out there other than your daughter.
Your sister.
And my sister. She probably won't
She
watch.
doesn't have time to watch it.
She's just in it for the cows. She just wants a prize. Did I tell you that I got her blessing?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, because I was like, if she just, I knew she wouldn't care. I knew she would be all about it. But just to check the box, I sent her a text and I was like, hey, would you be okay if Tracy and I started a podcast? And she's like, yeah, then I can be in the Cowl and win a prize. She's like, I don't knit enough to be doing a podcast.
If you're watching, Carrie, you have to knit something to win a prize.
Yeah, Carrie.
Or crochet, that's fine.
Maybe she can be a special guest one day. Okay.
Back to your socks.
Back to my sock. So this is, again, I'm like Stressnits fangirl today. I should probably change my user name and identity to Stressnits fangirl. This is all Stressnits yarn. This is Rust Belt, which was a mini, but I might have to get some more of that because it's so beautiful. Palm Lines is actually pink, but it looks white here. And this is, she called it Impulsive. It's like a one-of-a-kind skein that I'm pretty sure was an early accidental Gemini trial.
Oh, heel.
So pretty. Oh yeah, and it's a garter stitch heel, which I've never done before. Oh, and on this one, I think she called it a honeycomb heel, and there was no purling.
Yeah, I've got to try that.
Yeah, it's really, and it's cute and it's quick. So the only purling in this sock was on the heel turn, which is like that much. So if you're anti-purl, as I sometimes am.
I forgot to mention that my favorite murder hat was designed by Jennifer Lassonde. But anyone who's watching us probably knows her because she's the Downseller Studio. She's doing the pigskin party, and yeah, it's big right now. It's too much for me. It's too much stress to work on it. I can't do something for a team right now. But it sounds really fun. So this is my last Halloween project bag. It's also from Lammy Toes. I should have mentioned the first one from Lammy Toes. And she's currently not dyeing yarn or making bags because she's in Korea. Is that right? Korea?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Sure.
So I'm hoarding my Lammy Toes yarn because I can't knit with it.
Yeah. I'm putting together Advent stuff right now. And I have my last bit of Cyborg's Craft Room. It's like a ball, like a gumball size thing. And I'm sending that to someone. Can't say who. It's a surprise, but
the last bit of any Cyborg's Craft Room yarn that you have at all?
That's it. It's like the size of a marble. But I know someone who I care about deeply who's making a sock blanket, and their squares are like this big. So I think she can get a full square of it, and I can't. So and I've used it for a lot of projects. I'm passing it on to a new home.
Maybe I'll have to send you some Cyborg's Craft.
It's one of those yarns I always thought I would be able to get. Never occurred to me that she's always at ZK. It's like I can always buy this. Always gonna be here.
Yeah, I don't live with that always. Well, especially when the people you're buying from are just like one person businesses. You know what I mean? So many things can change or things can happen, whatever.
It's true.
I have a little stash of Hey Sister yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that. I love their podcast. I love the yarn. So I'm like, well, I can't knit with that now. So you've been around a while when like half of your stash is yarn from people who aren't dyeing anymore, and then you can't knit with it. What are you gonna do?
I have one skein of theirs, but it's a sock set, so it's like one real skein and 3 minis. And I was gonna do the Mountain Mama socks out of that, and now that you say that, I'm like, well, maybe I can't knit that.
You can't. You're not allowed.
Oh well, I'll have to find something else.
Decoration now.
It could be because it's really pretty. All right, here's my last.
That's not a good way to look at your yarn, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you love it, you should knit with it. Someone tell me that.
Stop it. Knit with your yarn.
Okay.
Look at this preciousness.
Oh my gosh. It's
onto your ovaries, ladies. On our baby sweater. My family is home from getting their flu shots. It's going to get loud for a second. My department chair is having a corona baby.
Who's not having a corona baby?
She got pregnant during lockdown, so she gets to be teased all that we can. This is Flax Light. I love this pattern. I make it all the time. Made one for you, for your boy. The one I made for your boy, I just did stockinette because I didn't want to have to do the garter stitch all the way down the sleeve. It's not a detail I think is worth the trouble of having to purl for. Mm-hmm. But with this one, I did the garter stitch just on the shoulders. I did the whole shoulder, not just the little panel middle.
That's cute.
Kind of like the so faded.
Yeah.
I really like it. I thought I would break up this yarn because it's kind of very variegated, lots of browns. And I think it looks really cute.
Is it green? Or is it just brown?
It's pink and brown.
Oh, it looks green to me.
That's it. Oh, I got stars.
Your special treat, my lady.
Thank you. When you get flu shots, you get Starbucks. I already have a flu shot, so don't judge me.
You got Starbucks that day too.
I did get Starbucks that day too. So now it's a tradition. Anybody gets a flu shot, I get Starbucks.
You probably should have made 4 separate trips.
Yeah. No, we only did 2. Adults got them first, and the kids got them. So this yarn, I remember this time, it's by Arbor Twist. It's got a cute kitty on the label. I've never heard of this yarn before. It's a one-of-a-kind. Came from a swap we did at the End of the Wool retreat. I think it's 2018 was the last time I went. I don't get to go every year because it's in September and I'm a teacher, and it's just not a good time to be taking a couple days off of work at the beginning of the school year. But it's really fun, and I did enjoy it. But we have a brown bag swap where you put your yarn into a brown paper bag, put it on the table, and then everybody takes turns picking up a brown paper bag, and then you see what you got. So completely blind. It's not like if you get number 1, you know you're going to get the best one. And if you get number 100, what you get what's left. Usually,
I love that idea.
When you get that like, cascade or something, buddy. You bring your wool miza, put on the table, and you pick up cascades. It's not like that. Everybody has the same chance because it's completely blind. So I got this there.
Go into it knowing you may love or hate what you get.
Exactly. And then there's a little corner. There's a swap corner. So once you got your bag, you've opened it, you can go into the corner and swap if it's not to your taste or whatever. I thought it was really cute. But I also like going to retreats and fiber events because you get to see yarns that you're just not exposed to every day. So I have no idea where this is from, but there are people from Florida, Texas, Indiana. There are people from all over, Arkansas, and they bring their yarn and put on the table, and so you get something new. So I mostly see the same North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia dyers at my festivals, and then I'll go to Minnesota in the summer and see the people from that area. That's a big discrepancy. I mean, there's a lot of different places will come to ZK too, so you get to see a lot of different dyers that way, and I like that.
It's completely different to see things in person.
Yeah, it's true. I've been in the habit the last few years of only buying yarn in person, so I can see and touch what I'm getting. So I'm either gonna have to just keep on using up my stash, which I'm looking over that way because I got my stashes over here. Keep on using up my stash, or I'm gonna have to start buying off the internet.
That's what I've been doing. Oh, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like buying yarn today.
My yarn stores are open by appointment now, so I can get to the yarn store if I need to. I just have to call in advance and make an appointment, and you can stay for 30 minutes or do back-to-back appointments for an hour. I don't know. And now I feel like I had to buy something, even if I get there and they don't have exactly what I want, because I'm the only person allowed in the store. It's a lot of pressure. Shopping in person is a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, I have not. Well, I was pregnant when this all started, so I've not been in a store. I've been in the post office a couple times. Oh, my Minnesota O just came out. I felt it. The post office.
And St. Olaf.
There's one word that it even if you're trying really hard, there's one word that pulls it out real bad, and I'm not going to tell you what that word is. I'm going to edit this, and I'll be like, oh, Beth, all the words are words like that for you. Get real. Okay, I feel like, okay, so Ronan is right here, zonked out sleeping, but I just have this feeling like the clock is ticking, so I'm starting to get a little twitchy, so I'm going to show the rest of my stuff.
Okay.
Is that?
You go for it. I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're out, okay. Really next, anyway, okay.
I'm just Starbucks. I'm just Starbucks now.
Yeah, you try your coffee, and did they get you what? Is that what that is?
No. It's the same thing. It's from my saved order in the app.
So what is it?
It is a iced caramel macchiato.
Ooh, yum. I was gonna say that does not look like what I thought you ordered.
What am I about to drink?
What is this? Okay, I am knitting a shawl called Exhale, and it's by Aroha Knits, who I looked up. Oh, and apparently I stopped mid-row. That's obnoxious. In lace. Okay. Wonder what was happening there.
What were you thinking?
probably had a crying kid or something. I looked her up to figure out who the designer was because I didn't have her name on the pattern. And she has a pay what you can system for her patterns. So there are different codes depending on your financial need. So that's super cool. But you know what? This was free now that I think about it. So if you wanted this, you don't have to pay anything. So it is a lace shawl. And it just continues this lace pattern over and over. And then on the edge, it's more of like a garter border. And this is a cake of yarn that my friend got for me when she was traveling. And it's from 3G Fiber Creations is the dyer. I've never heard of them. Oh, they have a Facebook group. Oh, that's what it says on their label. I don't know. So someone local dyed the yarn, so it'll go from these like light springy colors to these more jewel tones.
Very pretty.
Yeah, and my friend is knitting the same pattern, and she has a cake of yarn that's like oranges and greens. Okay. So we're doing that. And I've been working on my crochet blanket.
Wow.
Which is made with scraps and mini skeins just from all sorts of things. It's almost like a different blanket from one side to the other because so many times like a skein will run out like right here. And so it's not like I'm doing exactly 2 rows of everything or 1 row of everything. So it's kind of fun and random and colorful.
I love it.
Awkward to show, as you can tell.
I want to learn to crochet just for a blanket like that.
That's kind of what I did. It's not hard. You could totally do it.
I can single crochet. I did know how to double, and yeah, I think I learned through all three of those stitches. I took a class at Into the Wool with crochet, etc. And so I had the basic stitches mastered by the time the class was over, but I haven't practiced against them. So
I think it would come back to you pretty easily. And actually, I don't know what I did, but I hurt my wrist, and it's been hurting for like a month. And it's been getting gradually better, but it hurts so bad that you would think you would have known what you did wrong. Like it hurts like I fell on it. I didn't do anything. I don't know why it hurts. Unless maybe I was like spinning way too hard.
When you reach a certain age, you sometimes wake up hurting and you don't know why. I was getting out of bed yesterday and I was like, I don't know, I felt fine until I started to get out of the bed and then suddenly my shoulder. I'm like, what is happening to me? I used to sleep on hardwood floors at friends' houses. It was fine. I'm getting out of my comfy sleepover bed and I throw out my shoulder. So,
you're funny.
You could have slept with your hand like this. You don't know.
Well, actually, when you have kids. I'm certain that I fell asleep night after night after night with my arm in the bassinet. So actually where it hurts the most is where so I'm like, well, that could be. Anyway.
Repetitive mommy injury.
Yeah, exactly. My point though was I've been trying to knit with like varying sizes of needles and I've been throwing in some crochet because I can't stop.
Yeah, even though you might have permanent muscle damage.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It is worth it. The pain is worth it.
I can't stop.
I can't.
I really feel that. I wouldn't stop either.
Health is completely dependent on and related to my crafting.
Wow, look at that.
I know. I've been hoarding all the pretty minis, and most of them, Tracy, are from you, that I was like, oh, they're too pretty, and I can't knit with them, and I'm going to make like some socks or whatever, and no, I never
knit
did.
With those. Knit with them. So that cat sandwich is one of my favorites.
I know. Yeah. And I haven't used any of it because it's too beautiful. No, I'm using it now.
It's beautiful. Use it now. Use your yarns.
Yes. So that's
Use it up.
And then my only other thing is I'm going to start the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along on Friday. I've never done one before.
I haven't either.
I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And if I don't, I'm just gonna take it all apart. But it is in my Fawn and the Fox bag.
I love that bag.
She's back. Like, she's very recently, like, she's making these again, these project bags. She's dyeing yarn again. She's re-entered.
Like witty knitting in the podcast world.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I just feel so bad. No, everyone's going to be like, oh, she's back again. Might as well not watch that, because...
Don't get attached. Beth is going to break your heart again.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a sarcastic streak that does not play well with my Minnesota friends. I know this. I forget.
It's not always quick enough to come up with something. So this is my main color. This is Hedgehog Fibers in the Monet colorway. And they are very different. I don't know how much you can tell. This one has a lot more of the rust and the speckles. And then, see, it was prettier when I showed it when they were all in skeins, but now they're like, it's awkward to hold all of them. Make it less awkward by putting it on my face.
You should juggle.
So these are my 3 contrast colors. 1, 2, 3.
I love them.
These are also Hedgehog, and this is Grinning Gargoyle. It's not as, it's showing up like super royal blue. It's actually darker. It's darker than this. So
I do have a mini of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I found the remnants of it. So we exchange minis in December every year for an Advent, and I put them in my blanket immediately. Like I'd have a 25-day Advent knitted into my blanket every year, and then I'll usually have immediately. Like I'll open a mini and then sit down and knit it every single day. Even when I get home from work, I'll knit it, or if it's a weekend, that's the first thing I do.
So I should make sure you put them in a really pretty order.
It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna knit it. So how you put it pretty order? One year you said you're gonna put them in a gradient order, and I was like, oh well, then I'm gonna have to put one over here, or my blanket will have a strip the same-ish color. But yeah, I knitted them right away, and then I usually have like 4 or 5 grams left over, and use those for other projects. So I use some of them in this blanket, and I have a northeasterly blanket that I'll show some other time. It's not very big yet. Sometimes I'll use them in socks or other scrap projects. Every year. I found the remnants of it, and it's so pretty. I'm passing the last 5 grams on to someone else too. Another Advent.
I love that.
You might guess who you are.
One of our 5 viewers. Hey.
That's right, my daughter Rena. I'm making you an Advent. She does not knit much. She'd be like, thanks. Just what I wanted.
Thanks for your scraps.
Scraps. All right. Nap time must be almost over because we're getting punchy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, oh my gosh, I hope it works out this time.
Yeah.
I think
and if it doesn't, we'll try again next week and talk some more about the same projects.
So if you watch this and there's someone here, there's someone at my house. People don't come here. What's happening? It's the UPS person.
Bolt the door. There's someone at the house.
Do other people actually hide when people come to deliver packages?
My entire family. Someone knocks on the door. My son will come. He lives in the front of the house. He'll come running to the back of the house going, there's someone at the door. Answer it, Dad. I was like, I'm not going to answer it, dude.
Like, I want to take the computer and run to a different house and leave my baby here close to the kitchen. Such a good mom. They don't even expect people to be home, right? They just throw the box on the steps.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they do. It's okay. You don't have to talk to anyone you don't want to talk to.
I have to talk to so many people I don't want to talk to. It's like my whole life. Okay, just kidding.
I almost said my favorite murder quote, but then we'd have to have an explicit tag. But basically, it's forget politeness. You don't owe them anything.
I think I know which word to replace with which word.
Forget politeness.
He didn't even knock. He's just leaving.
Rude. Here I'm in my house worried about him and he's not even going to knock.
Oh, man.
All right. So what were you saying to our viewer
Before I got all squirrely about the UPS person. I really want to see what is here because I think it might be a wrist brace. I'm pretty sure it is.
So now we've come full
I'll
circle.
tell you next time. I think I was going to say, if you like this video.
Bless your heart. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Oh, I feel so silly. But no, really, if you have questions about anything or tag us on Instagram or
If you have an idea for a knit along so that her sister can win a prize.
yes, exactly.
Or knit a thing so she can knit a thing. I like it. Yeah.
I do have a knit along idea.
Yeah, we had some ideas. We thought about Christmas socks and the copycat cowl. I think it's a really cute idea.
Which just has a ring to it.
It does. So, if you want to learn more about that and find out what was in Beth's package, then come back in 2 weeks.
Next time. Yeah, 2 weeks. We don't need to do this every week.
Oh, and next time we'll even explain to you how we came up with our awesome podcast name. Yes. We forgot that this time.
Yes, we did.
Put that in our notes.
Okay.
All right. Well, until next time.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting. Oh, we had a send-off slogan.
Oh yeah. We're not taking
criticism at this time.
Taking criticism at this time. So
I learned that from a TikTok that I showed my students, and that's been my sign-off almost every class ever since. Like, thank you for your patience today, and I am not accepting criticism at this time as I learn how to teach with Zoom. Yes.
And now podcast with Zoom.
Yes. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.